What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm so excited. Today is the day where I talk about my Sephora recommendations for the sale that starts tomorrow, and then at the end we'll talk about my stupid long wish list. Okay, so if you are interested in hearing about either of those topics, let's just get into it. Now, I will have some timestamps because I know there may be some things that I talk about that you may not care about, certain categories of recommendations. So I will categorize by makeup and fragrance because those are the only two categories that I really wish to talk about today. And then at the end, I will then do a third timestamp for my personal wish list, which is ridiculously long right now. That is a conversation for when we get there. So, as for fragrance, let's just knock that out of the way because there's very few. I decided to stick to 3 perfumes and 1 body mist, and those are the things I'm going to talk about. And then of course the big chunk is going to be the makeup because there's so many different categories that I want to talk about, and I'm doing this video in a different type of perspective, so I have a lot of things that I'm going to be recommending for you guys. So let's get into the perfume. Now, I've had all of these bottles for a different variant amount of time, but they are all ones that I cannot wait to reach for in this upcoming spring and summer. So that's why I want to recommend them to you. The one that I've actually had the longest was the most expensive, and this is the Tom Ford Eau de Soleil Blanc. Now, there is quite the few flankers in this range. There actually was a flanker that was just released very recently in this range. And what they tote this range for being is like the sun range. It literally smells to me like sun in a bottle. Yes, there is kind of that sunscreen element, but to me, it's not true sunscreen element. If you want a spray that truly smells like sunscreen, there is a different one that I say, in my opinion, to my nose, smells a little bit more like straight up sunscreen with a splash of some other things surrounding it. Either way though, this is a love, this is a favorite. I went through quite a few samples, and I believe I even went through a travel size. Now I have this bottle and I haven't used it as much, but the organization of my fragrances has changed, and I now have a fragrance tray. So I intend to put this on that tray and to reach for it more often, especially because my summer is going to look a lot different than typically my summers have looked in the past. So yeah, this is Soleil Blanc. Next is one that I recently picked up, but I truly just sprayed it on in store. Sometimes I go to a local Ulta and I'll just spray a whole bunch of scents that I am interested in, or I just see and they catch my eye. And the ones that I really enjoy or I'm really interested in picking up for myself, sometimes I'll say how much I like it in that first impression. And depending on how much I like it, I'll get a travel size or a full size. This was one I knew immediately I wanted the full size. I wrote it down in my little note, and here we go. And this is Valentino's. Which one version is this? This is the yellow color. So this is Valentino Eau de Parfum, but this is the one that has like the banana note. I think this is so unique. This is literally the one that I just sprayed on me because I felt like I didn't have enough perfume on today, and it just smells such a bright kind of banana. I feel like there's some vanilla in this as well. I really enjoy it, and I think it is a beautiful scent. Maybe some other citruses in there as well, but regardless, it is a beautiful scent for these hotter months. And as of today, it is actually 80 degrees in my area, so this was definitely the perfect scent for me to apply to kind of cool down as I continue to talk about some of these beautiful products. Next, we have a classic, and you either love it or you don't. And at one point when I had this bottle, I did not like it, but I think it took some time to really ferment in the actual packaging and to kind of turn the scent that I smelled when I smelled it in store. This was another one of those where I went into the Ulta, sprayed a whole bunch of things, put it in my notes, and I actually got this from a third party, and I'm so happy I saved my money on this. This is Burberry Her. I think this is the parfum. Yeah, this is the parfum. I didn't like the toilette. It just didn't smell good. And I haven't smelled any of the more recent flankers. I just haven't had the time. And my local Ulta, their fragrance section has just been a little shoddy, where they really don't put out any of the new scents unless they're like really, really popular. Regardless though, I really am happy to have this. To me, this smells more like strawberry, and I believe that is like its signature kind of note that it connects all of its flankers to, and I really enjoy this one. I would highly recommend it. It is very refreshing. It's a really nice perfume. So yeah, I would recommend this. And like I said, I plan to get some dents in all of these. I haven't had the last two for very long, and so I can't wait to actually put them on my fragrance tray, and yeah, like I said, get some dents. The last one is kind of a brand that I would recommend, but I have a size that I would recommend as well. So the brand that I would recommend is, of course, Sol de Janeiro. I think that they make really good mist, especially for like an elevated version. If you've been the Bath and Body Works girly for years and you're ready to elevate, but you can't justify buying a perfume, or you just really like the idea of body mist so that you can reapply throughout the day, or it can kind of wear away very quickly, this would be the next brand up that I would personally recommend. I find that their scents last pretty much the same level of Bath and Body Works, but they're a lot more tailored towards a mature audience, I would say, a mature nose, if you will. And for me, this is the scent that I would say is more of a sunscreen with that pistachio in there. I can't wait to do a video. I want to talk about some pistachio scents, but this is not the video. Anyways, I just think that it brings that pistachio and that warmthness to it, but it truly has the base of a sunscreen scent. But what I would say is, don't get this huge bottle. Get this size. That way you can test it out. Unless you already know you love it and you go through these bottles quickly, then you can go ahead and get this big one. I got this big one, I want to say 2 years ago, and that's how much use I've gotten out of it. So this definitely needs to find its way on my fragrance tray. Both of these actually do, because I need to get more use out of them this kind of hot season, if you will. So those are all the fragrances. No more time for fragrances. Now let's dive into the makeup. Now I wish I could say I was organized enough to have this stuff kind of stacked in the best way, but some of the categories that's easiest, because they were the last category to talk about, is eyeshadow. Now for me, I am predominantly an indie eyeshadow wearer. You will see even the eyeshadow that I'm wearing today is from an independently owned brand, both formulas, because I'm wearing a couple different formulas. I would say personally to go that route, but if you are not, and if you're one of those people, I forgot to say in the beginning because I was just so excited. This list is tailored towards somebody who expects and only likes to shop from Sephora. If you are willing to shop from the brand's site, some of these brands I actually honestly would not recommend you pick up now. And you will even see if you're on their mailing list, some brands are already doing 25 to 30% off on their site, and some brands are just historically known to do 30% off, 40% off on their site. So even though some of those brands are listed here, if you are okay with buying from a brand's particular site, don't pick up these items. Once again, I skip past that. Of course, this sale starts on the 14th and it goes towards till the 20 something. I'll have all the information down below. It is tiered percentages off based on how much money you've already spent previous calendar year at Sephora. And if you happen to have already spent even more at Sephora this year and you've gone up a level, it can change as well. 20% for Rouge, basically you spent $1,000 either already this year or last year. 15% off for VIB, and that means you spent at least $500 either this year or last year. And then the Beauty Insider gets 10% off, and that means that you literally created an account at Sephora. So that's it. I apologize. I was just so excited and I wanted to start that I just kind of completely thought you guys already knew that information. Once again, my bizzles. Okay, let's get into the eyeshadows. First eyeshadow I have to recommend is the ABH Rose Metals palette. This was an unexpected love. I picked this up through Ulta. Always recommend picking up from Ulta over Sephora, even when we come to jackling with brand sites as well. So let me get back to it. So I recommend this, and this was a love at first kind of application. The formula in this particular eyeshadow palette is immaculate. The blend of these mattes are beautiful. The pigmentation and the saturation of these metallics is phenomenal, and there are some shimmer particles in pretty much all of these shimmers, so I absolutely love this palette and I highly recommend it. So yeah, there is one. Two more eyeshadow palettes. One, of course, is the Natasha Denona, and for me, one of her favorite palettes I think that she's ever released, and that's saying something, is actually the My Dream palette. The depth, the pigmentation, the variety in formulation is just phenomenal with this palette. Phenomenal. And so I had to recommend that. This is actually one of those palettes that when I finally am done with kind of my backstock of eyeshadow palettes, testing out, reviewing, showcasing for you all, this is one that I actually want to reach for in like an everyday eyeshadow look, or just in like a special eyeshadow look. So definitely recommend you checking out this palette. And if you've tried palettes in the past that have her cream formula, for me, I feel like she finally mastered it even more in this one, especially if like the last time you tried it was like the bronze palette. I feel like the bronze creamy mattes are nothing compared to these. So I would definitely tell you that. And it also might just be because the creamy mattes in this palette are darker, and I feel like you really get that saturation, that depth, that oomph that I didn't get in the bronze, although I do love the bronze palette. The Dream is better. Then the last eyeshadow palette that I actually want to recommend is actually this baby right here. This is the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. When I say this is one of my most used eyeshadow palettes, it's one of my most used. Now, don't pay attention to these. I took out the 2 glitters. I don't mess with pressed glitters, but I did completely finish up her cream eyeshadow here, and these were beautiful. I actually used this eyeshadow palette to do makeup on others. I just really love this eyeshadow palette. I will just say, as of right now, last time I checked, 25% off on eyeshadows and some cheek products at Huda Beauty. So take that into consideration. So that was the easiest kind of category for me to kind of find very quickly. Let's kind of back up. I have absolutely no primers. I am definitely going to be shopping primers personally, so I have none to recommend. I have primers that I think are okay, but none that I think are phenomenal enough for you to spend your money on. So there is that. As for foundations, I actually have 3 again, I think, that I actually want to recommend. So first is this LYS Triple Fix Foundation. I love this foundation. I've done a full face of LYS, and I will try my absolute best, as long as I have room, to link it down below in the description box. If not, I will go ahead and throw it up in the cards. This foundation is beautiful. The pigmentation is a medium natural skin finish, and it's phenomenal. I have it in the shade DN6, and I will say once again, this brand does do sales on their website. I think they go up to about 30% off, and I actually have a link that will also get you, I believe, some percentage off, and it also does give me a kickback as well. So all of those things, take them into consideration. Next, we actually have the Makeup Forever HD Skin Finish foundation. This once again gives you a nice medium coverage. I know a lot of people don't like to wear that amount of coverage for any of these foundations during the summer, but I just don't care. If I'm gonna wear my foundation, I'm gonna wear foundation. And I don't have a lighter coverage foundation that I would actually recommend. So these are the ones that I wanna go ahead and give you. I think you can blend all of these out to give you a lighter coverage though, if you are interested. This one I think gives you slightly more of a natural finish, maybe even slightly more on the dewy realm, but it's definitely not dewy. It's still in that natural realm, but this LYS is a little bit more matte of a base than this one. This Makeup Forever I have in 4N68. Once again, it gives more of that medium coverage. Absolutely love it. The only reason I didn't recommend it last year is because I just was rivaling the House Labs, and this was the one that I felt like I could say you didn't have to buy if you bought the House Labs. Once again, another thing I forgot to talk about. Can you tell? I'm just so ready and excited to talk about makeup. I'm just forgetting everything. I am not talking about any of the products that I have talked about previously in recommendation videos. So I will also have my playlist linked down below for you all to listen to old recommendations, because those I still do recommend wholeheartedly. Okay, the last foundation that I want to talk about today is actually one, once again, if you're willing to shop from the brand's website, absolutely do not pick up anything from this brand, but if you aren't, here you go. And that's Pat McGrath. I really enjoy this. Now, this is actually full coverage, and once again, it is summer or going into summer where I live, but it may be going into winter for you, so this may be a perfect recommendation. I have this in the shade Deep 30. Full coverage, more skin-like natural finish. If I had to do like a range between these three foundations, I would say the LYS is the most matte. I would say the Pat McGrath is in the middle, and I would say the Makeup Forever is the most radiant. That said, none of these foundations are reaching anywhere near like the Makeup by Mario radiance level. Absolutely not. They're all very much in the same realm as the House Labs. I just love the House Labs more. So there is that. But I would still recommend all three of these foundations. And if you, once again, only wish to purchase from Sephora or only can purchase from Sephora, those are three I would definitely recommend. As for concealer, I have two recommendations in this realm. And first, I actually am going to go ahead and give it to the Sephora Collection brand. This particular one is the Best Skin Ever concealer. I have this in the shade 50N. I think this is a solid concealer. And if you are unable to buy any kind of other range from this sale, Sephora Collection is going to be 30% off. I've tried this one and the other concealer. I will have it pictured here. I enjoy both concealers and I would definitely recommend them. This concealer is medium coverage. Even though they say full, to me, it's a little bit more on that medium coverage realm. It is a slightly thicker finish compared to the one that I'm going to be talking about next, but overall I think it blends out beautifully, and if you wear it with a full coverage, I think it'll work. I think it'll work with a medium coverage as well. I would say it's more high medium than straight up full coverage, especially for the amount of concealer that I particularly apply on my face. The next concealer I would recommend, and I think if you evened it out with like the percentage off, it's probably going to nail pretty much that same price tag as the Sephora brand, if not honestly cheaper, is the LYS Triple Fix. Now this one I would definitely say is actually full coverage, although I think that the amount of coverage still works with regardless the base coverage or the foundation coverage that you have. So if you're using this with like a tinted moisturizer, which I have done, I think it works beautifully. If you're wearing it with like the actual LYS foundation or any other full coverage foundation, I still think that this will work. I have this in the shade DN3. Absolutely love it. I would highly recommend it. It actually is the one that I have been fully like working on lately. I don't know how much product I have left. I feel like I don't have much product left, but that's okay. It's sad to see some favorites go, but at the same time, it's good to see that I'm using my product, and I am excited to see how quickly I can use that up, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've done our concealer and our foundation. Let's do some cream bronzers, because that's the next step that I traditionally will apply. Now, there's one cream bronzer that I think is like something everybody is recommending, so I might as well get that one out the way. The Rare Beauty Cream Bronzer Stick. This is beautiful. I have it in the kind of first shade that they made available for my skin tone, which is True Warmth. It truly is a warm bronzer. That said, it blends out so quickly, so effortlessly, that you really don't have to worry about how strong of a warmth it pulls. You will just know that once it blends into your foundation, it just adds a slight warmth in those areas. So I truly would recommend this bronzer stick regardless of color. I've seen that the actual formulation is perfect as long as you can find a shade that works for you. That said, I will be talking about this bronzer stick again later on during my wish list, because I definitely want to go ahead and scoop up the next shade that they made available for somebody of my skin tone, because I would love to see if that's going to be more up my alley personally. The other cream bronzer stick that I want to actually recommend once again is LYS. I swear, even though I am affiliated with the brand, I truly and genuinely enjoy these products, and I haven't recommended them before in this context, so I wanted to do it today. This is in the shade Strength. Now, if you've seen my review, which I did do a bronzer hunt on these, I believe, or at least showcase these products, I picked up both Strength and Courage, and Courage is significantly darker than my skin tone. I believe I gave it away to my friends in one of the boxes that I created. Now, I would recommend this in addition to the Rare Beauty, but if the Rare Beauty in your shade sells out, this is an even more blendable formula than that. Now, I have seen other people complain about how quickly it blends, saying that it blends too easily. For me, that's not a thing. I would just say apply a little bit more, let it dry down slightly, and then blend it out. But I just wanted to give an alternative because I know a lot of people are going to be juggling for those Rare Beauty cream bronzer sticks, and if those sell out by the time you are trying to purchase, I would say check out the LYS. I feel like not a lot of people are hyping these up, and they should definitely be hyped up. I only have one powder to talk about. Once again, as I mentioned before, if you're willing to shop from the brand site, absolutely don't. But this is the Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder. I particularly have it in the shade Yellow, mainly because I feel like I have a yellow based undertone because I'm more olive neutral, and so this just works. But I think the formula is beautiful. It is a very, very thin formula. Do be careful when you do get this. You definitely do have to get through a kind of layer that just conceals the product as a whole, but otherwise I think this is a fantastic product. Highly recommend. I've been genuinely enjoying it. It's actually in my top kind of drawer section right now. If I had to recommend a powder bronzer, I've already recommended a couple last year. Oh, I forgot one cream bronzer. I'm sorry. So one other cream bronzer that I wanted to talk about is actually from Merit. Once again, this is another brand that I am affiliated with. I believe I picked this up. Honestly, it's getting harder and harder to remember. I believe I picked this up though. This is in the shade Monarch, and this is just a really, really beautiful cream bronzer. What I would say is this should be the cream bronzer for you if you like a light coverage base. Overall, this is going to be that light coverage cream bronzer for you, whereas the other two I think could really work with a medium to full coverage kind of overall look. As for powder bronzer, I have two that I want to talk about that I have not recommended before in this context. One is from NARS, and this is their matte bronzer in Queremba. Not everybody likes a shimmery, powdery, kind of more natural, glowy bronzer. So I wanted to go ahead and recommend this. If I had to choose a matte one from Sephora, this would be it. I was so happy to see that they had a bronzer that actually works for somebody of my skin tone. I wish that they had something even deeper for others, but you know, small steps and all that. So yeah, very, very happy with this particular powder. And then in addition, if you are somebody who you just want one product that has your cream and your powder, then I would actually go ahead and recommend this baby from Patrick Ta. I actually really do like the products here. I do prefer actually the cream over the powder. I once again We'll go ahead and link down below, if I can, my bronzer hunt. I believe I've done a bronzer hunt on pretty much all of these bronzers, so I will do my absolute best to link it down below for you all. I really do enjoy those products, so there is that. I need to speed up because this video is long and I can't. I did have a primer. I'm so sorry, this was buried. I did have a face primer that I wanted to talk about, and this is actually from Danessa Myricks. I really actually do enjoy this. I just completely spaced that Danessa Myricks is available at Sephora, and that I had it in this cart because I felt like I talked about it last time, but I guess I didn't. I really do enjoy this. This is the Yummy Skin and Universal. You can get the colored ones, and those can be used as primers. They're not going to give you a full-on color look unless you build it up. So there is that. Okay, now for real, let's go into blush. There is one other powder bronzer that I wanted to talk about, and this is one that I am debating getting another version of the same thing because they re-released it. This is the Kosas bronzer, and I have it in the shade Deep. I have absolutely no idea what the equivalent of that in their new formula is. If I can find like a chart or something of the effect, I will have it here on the screen. I really enjoyed this. This gives a more natural kind of shiny finish, so if you want a full-on like glowy base including your cheeks, this would be the bronzer I would recommend. And this is definitely warm, and it will definitely show up on your skin tone if you are of my complexion. Okay, for real now we are into blush products. So for my kind of one standalone cream blush, another product I feel like everybody is already going to be recommending, this is the Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin Blush. I happen to have it in the shade Golden Hour. Absolutely love this color. The formula is great. You can apply this with both a sponge and a brush. It blends in beautifully, and it's like one of those things where in the packaging it is definitely that cream, but once it hits the appliance or the tool that you use to kind of put it on your face, it completely turns into a powder. I love this product. I personally, once again, would recommend going to the brand. I searched through my email. They've done 25% off during the holidays, so I'm gonna wait to get my second shade that way, but I definitely would recommend that formula. Another formula that actually has a cream in it as well is from One Size. This brand I think does beautiful if you want pigmented products. If you don't like pigment, don't try this. I love pigment though, especially because of my skin tone. This gives you a cream blush, a matte blush, and a shimmery kind of highlighter blush topper depending on your skin tone. Absolutely love this. I have this in the shade Firestarter. I could definitely see me getting another shade, but once again, I've seen this brand do like 35% off, so your girl is gonna wait patiently, but definitely highly recommend this particular product. And then the one kind of standalone matte powder blush that I would recommend, although this isn't a straight up matte, I would say this has like some skin kind of radiance to it, is actually from House Labs. And this is in the shade Watermelon Bliss. Originally, I didn't know what to feel about this particular product, and I think it was because I used it with the particular cream that I used it with. I feel like this gives a nice kind of subtle skin-like sheen to the face, and the pigmentation is insane. So I would definitely recommend this. I could definitely see me picking up another shade if there's another shade that I'm interested in. I honestly haven't checked, but I have recently kind of come to my thoughts on this particular product, and I do truly enjoy it. Let's get into highlighter. As for highlighter, I have 3 products that I want to talk about. One is from, of course, once again, Rare Beauty. This is their highlighter. I have it in the shade Flaunt. I was never supposed to pick up this highlighter, but I was able to get a discount, and so I did. This is a very unique and intriguing formula. It is more of a kind of Beige Chalet formula, but once it gets on that cheekbone, you can be seen to the gods. This is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter, but it is very much a straight up blinding highlighter. You can't really dim it down. You can't really do anything to it. So if you don't like straight up blinding highlighters, I absolutely would not recommend this. I haven't seen Rare Beauty and how many sales they do and how well their sales are. If you know, put it down below for everybody else. I don't think I'm on their newsletter to actually know that information. Another highlighter, this is definitely an oldie but a goodie, but I've never recommended it in this context, is actually this Dior quad. This one happens to be the copper gold quad. I went through a phase where I actually was trying to pan specifically this baby right here. I love this quad. Specifically, that shade is beautiful, but all of these are great. The formula from Dior highlighters is great as well. And I feel like Dior is not one of those brands that you're really going to catch it on sale other than on these big kind of department stores. So definitely, I would highly recommend checking out the Dior range. And I do have some of their singular highlighters and I love those as well. The last highlighter that I want to recommend is from Haus Labs as well, and this one is in the shade Fire Opal. I think this is beautiful, but it truly depends on the brush that you have. I know a couple of people have commented on my videos saying they did not like it and they actually returned it because it didn't pick up the way they want. I've used this with my Sigma favorite highlighter brush, and I will have that down below for you all. But I've also used it with any other brush. I think I've also broken through the kind of top layer, so it's just been able to pick up easier since then. And I think this is a beautiful highlighter. It's not nearly as blinding as the Rare, neither is the Dior, but these two can really be buffed into the skin, so you can build it up, but you can also sheer it out for it to just be a little bit more natural in the realm when it comes to highlighters. We got some random items left, so let's just run through those and then we are done with my recommendations. My Lancome Monsieur Big, this is one of my favorite mascaras. I really like this mascara. That's why I picked it up when it was 50% off. I also would actually recommend the Rare Beauty mascara. I really like that one as well. I just don't have another one, so I can't actually show it, but that is definitely a favorite, and that has been in and out of my cart in the Sephora preparing for this sale personally. So I definitely would recommend it because I'm considering actually repurchasing it. As for brows, I think I only have 2 products to talk about, and I would recommend the ABH brow pencil if for whatever reason you did not pick it up during the 21 days of beauty. I would recommend it. I did, so I have my backups and I'm good to go. But I also would recommend the Too Faced Fluff and Hold. I really enjoy this. This is so far my favorite brow gel. I do have another brow gel that I intend to try because I hear it compared to that one so much, but as of right now, that's the one that I would recommend when it comes to brow gels. As for lip liners, I actually have 2. If you are somebody who likes a twist up, I would actually recommend the KVD lip liner. Now, the con for these lip liners is I feel like they're all kind of, the neutral colors are very much pinky. That's not something that I enjoy, so that is something, the reason why I have a couple still left, but I do intend to get through them. Also, they are extremely creamy, so if you don't like a creamy lip liner, definitely, honestly, I wouldn't recommend a twist up at all, but I definitely wouldn't recommend this brand. If you like something that has a little bit more wax, gives you a little bit more tug, I would recommend the LYS lip liners. Although this is not my favorite formula, this is one of my favorite formulas at Sephora, and I think that this color is beautiful. I have it in the shade Soulful. It's a really nice brownie lip liner. It works for me. You guys have seen me showcase this on my channel multiple times, so definitely another recommendation. Last lip product that I want to talk about are actual products. So I have one bullet lipstick that I want to talk about. This is in the cream formula from Huda Beauty, particularly in the shade Gold Digger. You guys know this is a ride or die. Mine looks absolutely god awful, and I can't wait to finish it and I'll feel so much success. But because it looks so bad, you know your girl has been using this product, so highly recommend that. I also want to recommend this Fenty Beauty What is this? This is like a liquid lipstick in Breadwinner. I think this formula is really, really nice. Think of this as like a creamy liquid lipstick. If you like that type of formula where it does feel and dry down like a liquid lipstick, but it feels like has some dimethicone or silicone in there, so when you move your lips it does still move a little bit, then I would recommend this formula. It's a really nice formula. That's why it sold out and everybody was running amok about it for a little while. Two kind of more glossy lip products that I want to recommend is, of course, I've really enjoyed my Tower 28 lip gloss. This one happens to be in the shade Chill. It does not look as clear as it did at the beginning, but that's because I always pretty much use this either as a lip balm and I already have something on my lips, or I'll use this to kind of gloss up my lip liners. So that's that. But as you can see, I've gotten significant use out of this product. I really do like this product, and I have two more shades and I can't wait to dive into those. And another unlikely candidate, I truly didn't see me recommending this until a couple weeks ago, was actually this baby. This is the Huda Beauty Silky Balm Icy. Now, I don't like the feel of this, but I like the formula. This product sticks to your lips, and that's what I like with like a lip oil kind of balmy product like this. Now, this does not tote to be a lip oil. I need to try her lip oils. Maybe that needs to be added to my carts. But this is a really good balm in the sense that it sticks to your lips. When I apply this at night and I wake up in the morning, my lips are still like supple, you know, and I do have that residue, that stupid butthole effect, so I do have to wipe that off. But I appreciate that this sticks to my lips overnight. Even when I apply this and then I put a mask on top, I still find that my lips stay nice and supple and plump throughout the mask application or wear that I use it for. So I would definitely recommend this. I don't sleep for very long lengths of time. I'm like a 6 to 8 hour max, generally more on that 6 part, but I still would recommend this. And if you're wondering how much I've used, I'm down to about this part. So I've definitely used a significant amount of that particular product. I have two randoms that I want to recommend as well. I've really been enjoying the House of Lash Lash Glue. Highly recommend that. And for that matter, I don't know why I didn't have the product out. I will of course recommend Lily Lashes. I love the style in Miami. You do you, but this is my favorite style. You guys see me in this style pretty much almost every time I put on false lashes. Of course, today I'm not wearing them though. And I'm not sure if these are on the site. Actually, these aren't on the site, but I would actually recommend the Laura Mercier cream eyeshadows. I don't believe the minis are on Sephora. I think they're only at Ulta, but I love this formula. It's been a favorite of mine. It's been in my top drawer and I've been reaching for it pretty much on my everyday eye looks, just for a really simple base that I can quickly build up to create an eye look. So good gracious, I'm so sorry. That was such a long recommendations aspect, but I had so many good things I felt like I had to talk about. And since I realized I hadn't done like this type of video constantly throughout the years, I felt like I had to kind of make up for some older recommendations. So these are all of my recommendations. Give me a second. I'm gonna move myself around and then we will get into my wish list, because once again, it is long. So if you haven't already grabbed a snack or a drink, go ahead and do so. Okay, so I had to take a break and the sun continued to set down, so we are in with my artificial lighting, at least in the front right now. So I'm gonna run through very quickly my Sephora basket right now. I don't think I'm going to be getting all of these things. It's just a lot, but I want to talk about all the things that I'm interested in. So Kayali's Yum Pistachio Gelato Intense Perfume. I've already smelled this in person. I pretty much just want to get the travel size to ensure that I will actually get significant use out of the actual perfume. And then once I do that, I will get a bigger size from the end of the year Kayali sale off of the Huda Beauty website. I also, like I said, was interested in getting the Kosas bronzer now in the new repackage. I think that it would be a value potentially, so let me know if you're interested. This is in the shade Paradise. I also want to get the Kylie Eden Juicy Apple perfume. I didn't get it last year, but now I am just thoroughly intrigued about Kylie's scents. And since I've loved every one that I've tried, I figured let's just go ahead and get my travel size, use that up, and then once again go ahead and pick up the Big Daddy full size once we get to winter sale at the end of the year. Next, something I definitely want to pick up is the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. I want to get it in the shade On the Horizon. This is another darker shade that they have available for people of color of my skin tone, so I'm very intrigued. I also want to pick up the Kulfi eyeliner. I have in the shade Tiger Queen. This is a unique shade, and I heard somebody recommend this. I've been watching so many recommendation videos, and this was one thing that stuck out to me. I haven't tried the brand, so I said, why not? The person also recommended their cream blushes, so I put in my cart the Garland Glow blush. I don't have a perfect cream blush from the Sephora site. I do love my Huda Beauty one, but you can't get it from the Sephora site. So I would love to get at least one staple that I can always recommend during these sales from that site. I also was intrigued by the iconic London Kissed by Sun multi-use blush and bronzer product. I have it in the shade So Cheeky. This is a new product. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but I was just going through the different categories and this just looked intriguing. Seeing it applied on the darker skinned model, I think this will be something I enjoy. So I'm very intrigued. A perfume brand that I was interested in trying before they came into Sephora and now they're in Sephora is The Maker, and they have a discovery set, so I have that in my cart. And then I also have the RMS Redimension Hydro Blush powder blush in the shade Sangria. Once again, this was another product that was reinvigorated my attention by somebody else's recommendation video. So I don't know if I'm gonna get all of those so far, but I'm definitely intrigued by all of those. Continuing on, we have the One Size primer. This is their mattifying primer that's also waterproof. I just think that this would be something that would be beneficial to use in conjunction with like the Makeup by Mario or anything else when I want to try a dewy foundation and it's just too much. So I'm intrigued by that. Also, the Patrick Ta brow lamination gel product. I hear a lot about this product being even better than my Too Faced Fluff and Hold, so I really want to try that. I would love to try a lip liner from Charlotte Tilbury. It's in the shade Walk of No Shame, which is what I have in the cart. I also have another lip liner type product that I'm interested in trying, and this one is actually from Makeup Forever. This product is multi-use, so you can use it in any brows, eyes, or lip liner. I got the shade Limitless Brown. I don't have a like perfect brown lip liner from Sephora, so I would love to try this. I also want to try another primer, and this is the Glow Recipe Pore Smoothing Blur Drop, so I really want to try that. Also the Sephora Collection Smoothing Cleanser, and then I think lastly, at least so far lastly, is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush in the shade Grateful. I have a favorite cream blush from them in the shade Joy. I've already recommended that before, that's why I didn't recommend it this year, but as you can see, there's quite a bit of cheek products that I am truly interested in. And did I talk about I didn't talk about the foundation. I actually currently have the KVD Good Apple like liquid foundation in the cart at the KVD website because they currently have like 25% off, so I'm considering picking that up. But I also did just literally get sent the Too Faced one, and I don't like to bring in too many foundations at a time, but this was like an unexpected acquirement, and I was really intrigued by the KVD because so many people have been recommending that one lately. So there's just so much I'm interested in. I'm interested in potentially doing like a shop with me vlog type situation. So if I'm able to get that done tonight, I will start that tonight because I will definitely be staying up till midnight to place my first order, at least for online, and then potentially going in store to pick up a couple of those items that are available in local Sephora's near me. And then yeah, who knows, I might just shop around for unnecessary things that I actually don't need. But I'm just weirdly very excited right now. I don't know where this came from. If you asked me literally the beginning of this week, I would have said I am only picking up like 2 or 3 things, very similar to what I've done in the past 2 or 3 Sephora sales. But for whatever reason today and this last couple of days, I've just been so excited, and I don't want to push that down, right? Because sometimes you just need a little bit of excitement to get you through some of the hard times in life, and your girl is having some fun right now. So I'm gonna continue to rock with it, and like I said, I think I'm gonna do a shop with me, and I'm definitely gonna showcase like what I'm purchasing at home at midnight tonight, and then also of course what I do if I pick up anything in store tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one. I'm so sorry, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you stayed to the end, put in the comments like the eye emoji. I'm pretty sure there are eye emojis, so go ahead and comment down below, or if you're on your computer you can just like say eye emoji or something. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. I will definitely be showing you guys what I pick up, and I think my next video, if I can swing it this weekend, will be my Ulta 21 Days of Beauty haul. I've already filmed it. I just need to edit it. So hopefully I have the time to just film and edit all of these things. But like I said, life is a real big steep this month for me. So we'll see how it works. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.